Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King, bringing you news from beyond the mirror, from the other world, and today we are talking about Death CC teams. Oh, I've been waiting so long to talk to you guys and gals about this. And since Nox has been awakened, it's a good time to talk about it, because Chris will soon be awakened as well. I've been getting tons of messages about Chris being awakened. It has been at least a month or so since I've started getting those messages. And he still hasn't been awakened yet. He's supposed to be awakened, and a certain pet is supposed to be released as well. That is for this team specifically, and for other teams too, but that pet in particular is mainly for Death CC builds in my opinion. That is where I use him the most. Now, let's just get right to it, shall we? Now, the heart of a Death CC team is Chris. So, no matter what form of Death CC team you're planning on building, Chris needs to be there, along with Nox. But let's start with Chris first. How are you supposed to build Chris in a Death CC team? First, you're going to need 2 attack speed items. I usually recommend this for every character you plan on using aggressively. The reason I'm saying 2 attack speed items specifically for Chris is because, well, he needs to inflict death a lot and as often as possible. Another thing you want to give him is the Ring of Death. Now, you want to do pretty much the same thing for Nox, but Nox, he doesn't have death on his weapon, so he won't insta-kill somebody. So Chris is the first person you want to give the Ring of Death. But after you awaken Nox, it's very important to give him 2 attack speed items as well, and it's kind of a good idea to use him as the tank, but I would highly recommend getting another tank on your team so you won't have to worry about Nox getting himself killed, and that's not something you want to happen because Nox is a very important part of the team. He increases the chance of status effects happening, so Nox is, you want to keep him alive. So it's a good idea to have another tank on your team. Like me, I have Helena on this team. Some people would prefer an Evan because he can increase defense. Me, I like to have a Helena on my team because she is just a little stronger than Evan on the global version of the game. Which is really sad because Evan used to be a very good choice for the Death CC team. But you know what? That's fine. There will be other characters that will be released on the global version of the game that will have some really serious kick for the Death CC team. But you know what? I think I should show you guys what the Death CC team looks like when it's complete. So I'm going to have to take a look at the original version of the game for you guys so you can get a good example on what it'll look like when it's complete, when all the heroes have been released, when you found all the items you need, everything's been maxed out. I'm going to show you guys what that's going to look like. Alright, here is what the Death CC team will look like once you've found all the right characters, you've found all the right items, once that pet has finally been released, once Chris has finally been awakened, but I won't show you what his skills do, I won't show you any of that. I'll just give you guys an example on what he will look like when he's complete, and just tell you guys what items you need. I won't show you his awakening skill or anything. I won't show you any animations yet. Don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. In fact, I might just blotch the my character sheet because I have a lot of spoiler characters over there. There's a lot of characters I have that have not been released yet, so I think I'm just gonna blotch that for you guys so you don't see them. But anyways, this is what it'll look like when it's finished. The pet is released, and everybody's been awakened. But some of these characters I wouldn't exactly have on my team right now. On the original version of the game, this is kind of what you should have when you have when you're in the global version. Anyways, you should have the Queen. You should have maybe you should have Evan on your team because you do need a decent tank. I would personally suggest Helena because she is probably the best tank awakened right now, anyways, for the global version of the game. But other than that, I guess an Evan would work okay. I mean, I just don't like him on the global version. But yeah, he's pretty good to have on your team if you want to have a good tank for the Death CC teams. And of course, Nox is always a good idea, and I have him maxed out. Everybody's here that needs to be here. Why do I say you need the Queen? Well, Queen Elysia, she has a debuff protection, so it's a good idea to have someone like that on your team. Most people would say, why don't you just put Spike on your team? He's fantastic. He's stronger than her and everything. No, he's not. He hasn't even been awakened yet. So he's not that strong. So definitely Elysia, and the fact that the AI doesn't use her a bunch in the arena, it's a good idea to have her on your team. Now, the Ring of Death. That is probably the hardest part of a Death CC team is because everybody needs to have these. Everyone needs to have these, and accessories are hard to come by, especially in the global version. It's not easy to get the exact one you need, so this is probably the last thing you want to do, but it is very important. Why is it so important? Because everyone needs to inflict death. Everybody does. With their basic attacks, it just needs to happen. Everybody needs to inflict that, especially Delins, especially Nox and Chris. These are the three characters you want it to have the most. Why do I say Delin so much? Well, Delin's awakening skill allows him to attack 3 people at the same time with his basic attack. So that means he has a chance to give 3 people death. So if someone already has death on them, they're gonna die. So he has a chance to give 3 people death or kill 3 people with basic attacks. So it's a good idea to have the Ring of Death on him and Chris and Nox. So those are the first people you want to give the Ring of Death. This is the hardest thing to do, so you don't do this so soon. So worry about this last. Worry about getting the characters you need for this team first, like Chris, Nox, and Delins. Worry about getting those characters first, and then worry about getting the accessories, because you need to get a lot of those. Say you want to switch your team up a little bit because the meta's changing. You're going to need to remove that ring off of the character you feel like is weaker and give it to the character you feel like is a little more suitable for the meta. So, accessories is something you want to worry about last. So, okay, worry about the characters first, accessories last. We've gotten that out the way. The next thing you want to worry about for your Death CC teams is pet. Now, the pet has not yet been released yet, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So, it's probably just a good idea to have a pet that can reduce skill CD, which is a pretty good idea. There aren't too many good pets that are out for Death CC teams right now, besides pets that reduce skill CD, so it's a good idea to have a pet like that on your team to replace Little Devil Creed. Consider this a sneak peek to the new pet that's going to come very soon. This is Little Devil Creed. He can increase your status effect chance, and he decreases skill CD. So, very, very good pet for Death CC teams. He has not been released yet, but he will be very soon, probably around the same time Chris will be released. Awaken, which shouldn't be too long from now, since so many rumors have been floating around. He should be awakened any day now, and this pet should be released anytime soon. So, I guess it's okay to show you guys Little Devil Creed. It shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm pretty sure the developers don't care if I give you a little bit of a sneak peek. But please keep in mind, some of the things I am telling you guys about Little Devil Creed are subject to change, so he may not be exactly the same as he is here on the original version of the game. Anyways, this is what your Death CC team will look like once it's finished on the global version of the game. There are some characters that I would personally have on the team for Death CC that have not been released yet, but this is probably the best to have on your team. Concerning a tank anyways, I'd probably tip in the direction of Helena, because on the global version, I feel like she's a lot stronger of a tank than Evan. She provides a lot more defense. She is just an all-around stronger tank than Evan on the global version, so I personally would like to have her on my team on the global version of the game. If I am going to build a Death CC team, she'd be a good tank. But tanks aren't always a good choice for Death CC teams. Sometimes another universal character wouldn't be much of a problem. There are going to be some universal characters that will be released in the future that do provide a boost in defense, like Evan. So keep an eye out for them when they are released. So just until then, probably a good idea to have a tank on your team like Evan or Helena. Oh, but one more thing before I take Sanji's wonderful face off the screen, I'm going to have to mention that Death CC teams are mainly used for Arena. They are strongly used for Arena. They're not really used for anywhere else. Death CC teams are very, very powerful in Arena. Extraordinarily powerful in Arena. Say you're going up against the strongest guy in Arena, and you don't have very strong heroes, but they're a Death CC team. Say they're all level 40, they have good items, your team is all level 40, and his team is all level 46. He has even better items than you do. But if they're a Death CC team, you have a Death CC team, you have a chance of beating him. regardless of his level, regardless of his items, you have a chance of beating him. So a Death CC team is a very, very strong team. It's hard to build, but it's efficient and it's very powerful. So it's a good idea to build this team, but take your time with it because it is quite time consuming to build. It takes quite a while to find all those rings. I mean, even if you try spending all of your gems and trying to find the right accessory, you're probably not going to find a Ring of Death, especially a 6-star one. So by all means, take your time with this one. It is a very powerful build, but it will take some time. Be patient, you'll get it. Rings of Death, you'll find plenty of them over time. But alright, let's go back to the global version of the game. Thanks for the cover, Sanji. But alright, let's take a look at what your team should look like right now in the global version. These are the characters I would recommend. I mean, I don't really have the Queen on the global version, so I can't exactly put her on my team to show you guys. But I would definitely have her in place of Spike because she does have an awakened form, and she does have the debuff immunity for the entire team, so it's very important to have her on your team, including Delins, Chris, and Nox. If you don't have Delins, that's fine, but you really do need a Chris, and you really do need a Nox. And if you're just starting out the game, say you're new to 7 Knights, but you see my video and you're like, I want to build a Death CC team. They sound really, really strong, and they are. And the thing is about Death CC teams is they have one character that's incredibly easy to get, which is Nox. Nox is going to appear a lot in your inventory at the beginning of the game. He did for me anyways, because he isn't a normal hero, he isn't a special hero. His original form is actually less rare than a normal hero. So you'll be finding him a lot, so you'll be able to build him up to level 46 a lot quicker than what you would for other heroes. But if you're worried about getting some of the rarer characters like Delins and Chris, don't worry about it. One thing I like about 7 Knights is they reward you a special hero of your choosing every month. So no matter how unlucky you feel, you're going to get that special character over time. And you don't have to worry about chance and going to the hero draw and spending tons of gems on getting rare characters. I've talked about that in another video. So this team is hard to build. It does take a while, but it's definitely a team everyone will have eventually. And it's the strongest team in my opinion. It's stronger than any offensive team, even though I am going to talk about that later. Offensive teams are very strong. I'm going to make a video about that later, but offensive teams are probably the strongest in the original version of the game because there are so many characters that have been released on the original version of the game that are very, very powerful offensively, and they all work excellent together. So they are very, very strong on the original version of the game. Some offensive teams, only in the original version of the game though, have a really strong chance of countering Death CC teams. That's how powerful they actually are, but only for the original version of the game because they have some really strong fighters. But oh, there's one more thing I have to mention before I go. I wanted to tell you guys that this is more than just a 7 Knights channel. I love to review new games. I love playing anime games, so expect a lot of those here. 7 Knights is not the only game I play on this channel. So expect a variety of different games because I love to play anime games, I love to play horror games, I love to do reviews, a lot of reviews, so expect a ton of those. So this is not just a 7 Knights channel, so keep that in mind, but just because I say this isn't just a 7 Knights channel doesn't mean I'm not going to make 7 Knights videos, alright? I make multiple videos on 7 Knights. I love 7 Knights. I'm a mega fan. That's why I even started reviewing some of the new characters that come out for this game. Like, say there's a new mobile game out that's Gears of War related. Say I review that game and I upload a video on it. Just because I upload a video on something different doesn't mean I'm not going to upload 7 Knights content. I will continue to do that, alright? I made this channel to entertain people. I wanted to make people smile. And 7 Knights, it's a great game, but there's an update every week or two. And I don't want to just keep you guys waiting for days for me to upload something to make you smile. And that's what I wanted to do on this channel. I want to upload things every day to make people smile and make people laugh. Even if it's 7 Knights, or even if it's just a review, or even it's a Let's Play or something like that. I just want to make people happy in some way. And doing that every couple weeks just, I just feel like I'm keeping you guys waiting. I don't want to do that. So expect a lot of videos from now on, not just 7 Nights related, because I can't upload 7 Nights videos every day because they're reviews. My 7 Nights uploads are reviews on newer heroes, and 7 Nights, they don't make heroes and come out with them every day. The developers don't do that. But I want to entertain you guys as often as I possibly can, which means every day. So I'm going to try my best to come out with videos every day, even if there's 7 Nights or even if there's something else. I want to entertain you guys. That is what I want to do with my channel. That is what it was originally meant for, is to entertain and make people smile. And that's been my goal since the beginning. So I'm going to upload multiple things on this channel, don't worry. But anyways, that's all the time I have left for my fellow gamers. Remember to leave a like, comment, and please do subscribe to my channel. Take it easy for me, alright? Bye.